Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show. I am your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Neil. Neil, okay, just start us off again. The last time we did this show together, we start off saying the curse is broke, right? You were over 3. Bucko Mike pointed out they're averaging less than a run a game. Speak to us, Neil.
Well, thank you, Bucko Mike. You are a king. You have broken the curse because now when we do the postgame, we are now averaging 14 runs a game. So I think we got the key to our success.
In the 3 post games you start out, they average less than 1. Now you just needed 2 more, and they're averaging how many?
14, and now it'd be like 14 runs a game. But I mean, I really want to. I'd have to do the math. I'd have to go back. But we are flying right now.
Yep, he confirms it. Back-to-back 14 runs a game. So it's official. Now when you're on, we're good.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see.
Speaking of beautiful to see, let's talk about this game. I mean, this whole entire series, the Pirates came out in Cincinnati and it was like, the offense looks better, but they dropped 1 and 2. And since then they played well against Boston, the White Sox, Houston, even the Cardinals, right? They split that. Now they sweep the Rockies. Granted, we all know the Rockies aren't a good organization or team.
No,
but this is, let me say it, this is what good teams are supposed to do. This is what they do. They beat up on the bad teams. Now, I'm not here to tell you that the Pirates are a playoff team and they're a good team, but this is what good teams do. And the Pirates are at least acting like a good team at this point in time. 12-7, just demolished the Rockies. What a game.
It was so much fun. Like I had just gotten off work when the Pirates first inning started. Seriously, as soon as I was able to clock out, like I was watching the game immediately, seeing the Pirates just pop off. It was a sight to behold. So like it was so great. And Oviedo was so consistent today. I mean, even he didn't even have his best stuff, and he was still giving us quality innings, able to save the bullpen. It was, and yeah, like you said, we should be beating the Rockies. But last year we didn't beat the Rockies. Last year we split the season series with them. And so it's good to see.
Well, and again, last year the Pirates were one of those teams that weren't a good team. They're the teams that the good teams should be beating up on. That's, again, where we're at. The complete difference year in from last year to this year. That's why we were talking about this team and why there's competency and, like it's not terrible. Now, granted, how many wins we'll find out, but there's reason to be optimistic. And they're blowing. I think at my most optimistic mentality of this team for this year, they're far exceeding that right now. I mean, I couldn't imagine Kutch batting like 330 and Castro doing what he was doing and Connor Joe, and Santana, like all these guys. And then Oviedo, like you mentioned, even today, that was one of the worries about Oviedo coming in. I mean, he's had back-to-back very, very good starts. Maybe we'll start with him.
Three back-to-back. And if you take
before this game, I'm saying before this game, back-to-back, like just dominant starts. But now he's going into Colorado. How's the slider going to play there? You're kind of if there's any worry about him, right, at this point in time, being in Colorado, how it's going to play. And like you said, it wasn't as sharp as it's been, which, by the way, it's been pristine to this point. But yeah, he goes 6 innings, only 1 earned on 3 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. So job well done still.
Yeah. And, and you can always say, oh, well, the Pirates are beating up on bad teams. But we're 12-7 after going through the Cardinals, Red Sox, White Sox, and Astros on top of the after dropping 2 of 3 to the Reds. So it's not like we're blowing the doors off the Cardinals, but I mean, it feels really good to be in the position where we're at after some pretty good teams. I know a lot of people are saying like wait until May, see what this team's really like. But I mean, I've been really happy with how we played against like competing, competent teams, and just destroying the Rockies is a nice Sunday. No, it's a nice little cherry on top of the Sunday.
Right.
And
I'm
yes,
with you.
Jim, this is a Kansas City Monarchs hat. It's one of my favorites.
But you're right. You know, like they're going to Colorado. As you mentioned, last year they didn't fare as well, but they're going into Colorado. You're still kind of wondering what this team is. You know, splitting this Cardinal series is a good series. There was a lot of opportunities to win some more games potentially, but regardless, it was a good series. They come into Colorado and they just completely destroy them. Just absolutely destroy them. Now they could have just beat them 3 times and we'd be happy. I mean, they could have just won 2 out of 3. That's one of the things we're talking about with this upcoming schedule in April, like what it presents. There's some winnable games. And it's like if they take 2 out of 3 from Colorado, maybe 2 out of 4, even 3 out of 4 from Cincinnati, and they have a Dodgers series in Washington. Like you can come out of April looking pretty good, right?
Yeah.
They do better than that. They sweep the Rockies, and not only sweep them, I think they scored like 30 runs against them. And in those 3 games,
what was it, 43 hits in the series? Just
the Pirates.
It's like rookie mode when you play against their little brother in MLB The Show. It's crazy. Like it was so much fun, and seeing McCutchen destroy the ball all over the yard, to see Castro hit the longest. I don't know if Sawinski's home run last night was longer, but I think Castro and Sawinski now have tanks over 450 feet. Right. Connor Joe continues to destroy the baseball every time he sees it. He's OPSing over 1,000 now. Like, this has just been a fun team to watch so far, and we deserve it. You know what? We're a suffering franchise. We deserve this.
What's kind of funny and ironic is, like, this is a series to get bats going.
Yeah.
Truth be told, for the most part, the bats have been there even. Again, you can argue, and I understand, like, you know, results is what matters. But when you're watching the games and such, there has been a lot of unlucky at-bats for a lot of people. I mean, Kutch got wrecked quite a bit, especially against St. Louis. You know, Brian Hayes was getting wrecked early on in the season as well. You know, the bats have been there. They've been hitting the ball very, very, very hard all year long. And, right, like, it's nice to actually start seeing the success in this one. Now you're going, you know, playing against the Reds upcoming. This is a good, I mean, they're hot right now. The vibes are going. I mean, this is just a fun team at this point in time, and not just a fun team in aspect of, you know, aesthetics, but like it's actually a good team right now.
Like, you can not that the same, like this is going to be like, I think we're like a 94 win pace at the moment. Like, don't think that's going to happen, but like, yeah, like we are a good baseball team. And like I said in the last one, we do things well now. Not only are we hitting the ball well, but we are no longer like a defensive like nightmare to watch, where you're watching Hoy Park try to field field balls in right field. No, there is just a really different feeling around the team. And
absolutely, there's still some rawness, and there's still some, like, again, Castro did have a play today at short where you should have, you got to have that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, kind of like Bay last night. There's those moments, but the thing is, those moments are, I guess to put it like, they tried, just maybe not as able, where it's not, this person has no clue what they're doing, like Josh Van Meter not even knowing where first base is, right?
Yeah.
And not even talk about defensively, but you're not seeing like the base running, you know, their blunders and such. And it's just, there's more of a soundness to this team. And actually, Kutch's comments yesterday, I don't know if you guys talked about that last night, Doug or Tyler. I want to maybe talk a little bit about today, because what he said about, like, he appreciating, this goes back to the first game with Santana running out that play we got on first base. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not a team that, I'm paraphrasing right now, but like, we have to do that. Like, we're not a team that's given stuff. We have to make these plays. We have to try hard and such. Mm-hmm. And it's, again, like that veteran presence that we've been talking about. And what reason I'm bringing it up is to spin to what you're saying. Like, for all the people that might've been pissed off, again, I keep saying this over and over, about Cash on the cell phone, or Cabrian and the sunflower seeds, or like all these other plays, you know, maybe if you had some real vets in that clubhouse, Mr. GM, Ben Charrington and such, like, that stuff doesn't happen. So, like what you're saying, like, you're not seeing that type of stuff this year. And Maybe it's because there's a Kutch in that clubhouse giving those type of quotes, and it's
Yeah.
Santana and such. Like that's a huge difference as you're finding this year, as you see today as well. So again, like big shout out to those players. Keep talking times again, like not even just on the field, what they're doing on the field, but like off the field.
Yeah. And I mean, I just don't think the Hayes play last year was even his fault. I think that was just the Mets broadcasters being morons. But yeah, no, but the general sentiment, I agree. Like, there isn't this like idiot, looking like a high school team out there kind of deal, like, and
Right.
again, and I keep going back to this, but like employing Major League Baseball players helps so much. Like, it really is something else. And, there is something to be said about, building that winning culture. Like, the 2013 Pirates did it when you bring in guys like Burnett, Martin, Bird, guys like that who are really there to keep like the young guys grounded. And I think you can definitely see that with Kutch and Santana and Hill and even Hedges.
But yeah,
no, I entirely agree. Even if Jason DeLay is swamping Hedges at the plate right now, I think he's hitting 300.
He actually has
313 with an 871 OPS for Jason DeLay.
Yeah.
Carabas might be right. It might be our year.
what if it is? Pittsburgh Pirates in the World Series this year, call it. But I guess, yeah, I mean, again, go back to Oviedo. Tremendous start, tremendous continuation off his past two so far for the season. Again, 2.22 ERA from Johan Oviedo. I'm walking backwards on this again. I was big.
Yep.
There's a lot of reliever vibes with Oviedo. You give him the opportunity to start. You absolutely do after that trade you made last year. But huge reliever vibes, and he's pretty much relinquished all that so far. So I'm really into Oviedo right now. I love the success. I love seeing what he's doing. Of course, the results are there. But yeah, and now speaking of that, the 9th quality start in a row for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, we're bringing back the T-shirt.
What's going on?
I don't know. Like, it's actually crazy to think, because like, especially after Velasquez's first inning yesterday, I was like, oh well, this streak's gone. But it's not. I think two big takeaways. First of all, like, even though his control wasn't there, and I know that was Oviedo's like big concern, he only 3 walks though. My big thing is he only had 3 hard hit balls given up in 6 innings, and especially in a place like Coors, that is massive. Like, you never really got the sense that the Rockies were going to threaten, even with runners on. And as much as I would have liked to seen him go out and pitch a 7th inning, he was only at 84 pitches. I get it. Like, you want to get you want to get Johan Ramirez some innings. So I'm very happy with Oviedo, and I don't want to say like easy home run. Like, I'll eat my words on that trade, Ben, but I'm getting to that point where I can almost say, yeah, 100%. Good trade, Ben, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Like, I want to say it, I can't yet.
Right. No, that's completely fair. We've all known the stuff that he has.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It's just that he walked way too many people, and a lot of times he labored through outings. I mean, to get through 5 was a struggle. And at this point in time, like you said, 84 through 6. I mean, it was like, keep going, young boy. But it's just the Rockies. They're 14-3. Like, there's no point in putting him. He has a good outing. Let him come out feeling very good. Like you said, get Ramirez some work. Which, by the way, let's go ahead and move on to that. We'll just finish out the pitching. Ramirez does come in. He looked pretty good his first outing, his first inning.
Yeah.
He does go 2. He did give up the earned run, that homer. Or no, it wasn't a homer. It was the double. It almost was a homer.
Yeah.
2 strikeouts. Like I said, the first inning, he looked pretty good. Second one, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is his first outing there. I think with this appearance, so it's nothing that we haven't already known with Ramirez. We know Ramirez also has just electrifying stuff. That's what he's good at. He still really struggles with his control. Hit Tovar, walked 2 batters. And it's not to say like he's a lost cause by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like, he can't be put in high leverage situations until he gets that. And, not to put in like, a damper on anything, but that is kind of my worry going forward, is that once we start having these close games, when we have to go to OVA, when we have to go to Crow and Ramirez and Dari, it's not going to go well. And so that is my only, because like everything else is looking pretty solid, but the bullpen is my one hold up.
And I mean, with good reason too. I feel like that's probably the one unit that's playing even more out of their mind. As much as again, the offense scored 33 hits this series, and I'm saying the bullpen's one playing out of their mind right now.
Yeah,
more than that. I feel very much more confident in the bats. The bullpen. I mean, Holderman, Bednar, I feel good about. After that, it does get really, really shaky. I mean, there's guys who could stand out and do stuff. Even like Moretta. I mean, we'll talk about him too. He did pitch an inning, gave up a run, 2 walks, no strikeouts. I mean, he's exciting. He sure is exciting. I want him to be good, but I don't have faith that he will be good. And he just doesn't throw enough strikes. Just point blank.
I forget who posted it, but someone posted saying essentially like he's thrown 53% strikes.
That came from Mackey.
And that's just
the lowest on the team at 53. And honestly, like the way you look at it is, if he's throwing 53% strikes, guys chase. That means basically he's throwing under 50% actual strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, logically.
That's just not going to play over a full season, unfortunately.
Right.
Like as much as I would love that, it just won't. And so you really just need to start seeing guys like Dwayne Underwood Jr. stop giving up so many base runners. Luis Ortiz, when he comes up, maybe Velasquez looks good, but like maybe he slots into the bullpen and is a really nice option you can go to for 1 or 2 innings. Like the bullpen is not a lost cause, but just looking down the list of like Dion, Moretta, Hernandez, Stevenson, not a whole lot of those guys inspire like, yes, he's going to come and get 3 outs and we can go home happy.
Yep. Absolutely feel that way. It's much like last year where you have to rely on a few guys to get you those wins as a unit. You don't have a whole lot of faith. There's some pieces, as you mentioned, that, that are good, but the unit's not. But I'm not saying it can't be. Like, maybe Yeri De Los Santos, when he comes back up, finds some things. I mean, there might be some reinforcements on the way as well to get it better down the road. But as it's pieced together right now, I'm not too confident. With that said, I guess news and notes too, as we talked about report stuff. Jarlene Garcia still can't grip a baseball. That's not good.
He's approaching Lonnie Chisenhall territory of Pirates legends.
I'm really looking at it that way. Like at this point in time, if you still can't grip it, you're a long ways to go, and who knows when you will be able to. So that's not too good, because that was one of those acquisitions. I mean, he was okay. I didn't have a whole lot of faith in him being like the shutdown guy, like a really top-notch reliever, but he's a lefty. He's going to help out, and now he won't be helping out, it seems, for at least a very, very long time.
Isn't Strizny about to go? Isn't he gone for a while now?
Strizny. Yes. I have to slow it down, Bucko Mike. Yes, he is probably out for, I think they said 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Not that he's good, but he is a lefty. So, I mean, if Jose Hernandez steps up and is our new Felipe Vasquez flamethrower type reliever who isn't a terrible person, that would be welcome.
Thank you for the last part there. But yes, for sure. So we'll find out. Again, there's a lot of games to play. Getting some of these younger guys with a lot. I mean, there's a lot of them don't have a whole lot of experience either. So getting them some experience, maybe it helps out. But certainly the bullpen is something to worry for. But at this point in time, enjoy. It's 12-7 bucks.
Yep, enjoy it. I am having a great day.
Let's definitely get to the hitting side, though. Some things that really stood out. So, as always, go down the guys that had multiple hits. Hayes went 2 for 6 today. McCutcheon 2 for 5, a big 2 for 5 from him. Santana goes 2 for 4. Connor Joe, revenge series, 3 for 5. Castro 2 for 4. Matthias 2 for 4. This guy is turned into a Hall of Famer. And then, as you mentioned, Delay 3 for 5. And that's a lot of guys with multiple hits today. 18 hits on the day, 5 strikeouts. I'm all wrong. 18 hits on the day, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah. Just like a completely dominant performance. And I think it's something that I've noticed in this series particularly, but also just throughout the year. And I think it's just one of the biggest jumps of why this offense works so much better. It's not even the hits for me. It's the fact that when we have runners in scoring position, we put balls in play. And I'm going to sound like a huge boomer right now, but my word, we can actually hit the ball into the outfield and get runs in. We can move runners over. And like last year's Pirates team had no situational awareness
Yes.
in the slightest about like what kind of hits were needed. And so that's when you see we rack up like 9 runs in the first 2 innings, it's because we're not trying to kill the ball. We're hitting singles. We are hitting home runs too. Like we had 6 home runs this series, which is great. But it's also not just striking out all the time. Except Brian Reynolds, apparently.
As I, by the way, jokingly said today, is it time to DFA Brian Reynolds?
Cut him.
In this game, you couldn't get a hit, really? Jason DeLay had 3.
Come on, Brian. I mean,
right. But
I will say, I'm unapologetically a small ball advocate. Triples are more fun than home runs. Come at me. But anyway, nope. Fantastic offensive performance.
For sure. And to kind of get back to that before we move on, I'm looking, I haven't seen it to confirm, but I mean, I know Anthony, I'll take his word for it. He's saying that was wrong. They corrected it to days, not weeks. So I guess with this Strisny injury, it's 7 days, not weeks. So that's
okay.
Much more favorable, I will say. But yeah, so Reynolds gets ejected today. He didn't appreciate the strike 3 on that terrible sequence of pitches that were really a lot of balls. But yeah, I mean, strike 3 was, but the other 2 definitely wasn't. I guess you could argue strike 3 was, but he
strike
gets
3
ejected.
was a strike.
Okay.
The first 2 were not. And I just don't get how he gets ejected there. He says 3 words max to the umpire and gets tossed.
Which is Brian Reynolds. So, I mean, 3 words is max.
Yeah. Like, you could tell he was fuming. But I mean, if it was a close game, I'd be mad. But we were up 9 runs.
Yeah.
Go take a shower, dude.
It is kind of funny. It's a blowout. Like you say, he says 3 words. I mean, it was nothing like egregious in a sense. It was bad by the ump. But regardless, he says 3 words, nothing. I mean, I don't know, unless the 3 words are like the 3 worst words you've ever heard in your entire life, which also, like, again,
personally attacked his mother or something.
It's Brian Reynolds, so I assume it wasn't. It's probably, gosh darn it, umpire, and it's like, oh, you're out of here. But yeah, like in that game, that situation, you're ejecting him. It's kind of odd, but hey, you know what? Get to the showers early. It's been a big series, and G1 Bay gets to have some extra at bats. Thank you, Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, Brian Reynolds is a team player. He's trying to get the young guys those at bats so he can improve their swing. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we talked with all the people that had at the hits and such and their at bats and such, and I don't know like where to start because it just feels like, except for Brian Reynolds, everyone just had such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to start with this? I don't know. Kutch? That'd
probably be appropriate, wouldn't it?
I guess here's how I'll start. I mean, Hayes starts off with a double. Kutch gets a double, drives in Hayes. It felt like the first inning was just double after double after double. It's 5-0 of the very first inning. You see the Pirates are on the way to this blowout again. And then Kutch comes back around in the second and hits his home run. So already 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a home run. We keep talking about Kutch, how like he just looks so good. It's not, I mean, he looks legit good.
No, like over 1,000 OPS. Like no one could have predicted in their wildest dreams. Even my boy Vinny on Twitter could never have predicted Andrew McCutchen coming back and hitting like this. It's almost surreal. It's like watching 2013 Andrew McCutchen again.
It really is.
It's special. Like, and we are going to be talking about, if this continues like in any capacity, we are going to be talking about this season for a very long time from Reynolds. It's been that from McCutchen. It's been that good.
It really it's special. I have to use that word.
Yeah.
It's special. I mean, he comes home. Just that alone is like it's special. Never in my wildest dreams did I actually envision Andrew McCutchen being back. I truly just felt like it's not going to happen as much as I want and advocate for it for actual true baseball reasons. But even with him coming back, I mean, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting anything near this. Nope. There was some real concern if he was going to be any good, you know, or at least to the level that like he truly needs to be effective in that sense outside of being a leader. But I mean, we're talking 4 home runs, 3 stolen bases, 36-year-old Andrew McCutchen batting .310. Weighted run created plus of 164. He's 64% above league average at this point in time.
Yeah.
11 walks, 9 strikeouts.
And I know he's almost full-time DH, and defensive metrics this early on is hilarious. Like, they legitimately mean nothing. But for my agenda purposes, 81 percentile, 81st percentile outs above average.
I'm with you. That's why I've yet to actually cite that stuff with StatCast with him, because I mean it's fun, but it's way too early to really do. I mean, he had like one really good jump, and it's like boom, you're a good outfielder.
Like,
give us some more time.
Has the top tier outfield jump in center field right now. Like it does not mean a whole lot, but
what I will say is I'd rather see that than terrible.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
But
absolutely zero complaints about Kutch. I mean, not that I would ever complain about having Kutch in a Pirates uniform again, but it's like you said, it is special, and there's no other word for it.
I just have to. Okay, so we talked about Kutch. Just you say like this will be something to talk about, you know, with Kutch this year, and I'm not saying like this degree, but I think there really is something that needs to be talked about with this offseason so far. Because Kutch is doing the damn thing. We've mentioned Santana here and there, like Connor Joe also. Wow, again, 3 more hits today, 3 for 5. He's batting .340 on the year. You know, we've said time and time again, like fundamentally sound. Like he's not the speedster, but he going back to what you said, right? Doing things the right way, like running the bases the correct way and properly and such. Like Connor Joe does all the right things, and he's productive, very much so. So far, these acquisitions, man. I mean, wow.
Yeah, they for someone who has continuously criticized Ben Cherington for not being able to find MLB caliber players. McCutchen, Santana, and Joe are making a combined like $12 million this year, and have just completely changed the outlook of this offense. And to that, I tip my hat, because not that I expect, I think I said this last time, I don't expect Connor Joe to be playing with like a 160 WRC plus for the entire season. I don't expect McCutchen to be like Aaron Judge right now, but man,
I mean, he's
better. They've been great. Like, and so tip of the hat, like, even though my boy Neil gave us Reynolds and Castro, and he drafted Connor Joe, so he just knows talent. Ben Cherington so far, good offseason, man.
Yeah, like the thing is too, like I'll throw in Troy. Troy's injured. He's going to be out. Also, he's out for 7 weeks.
That sucks.
8 weeks actually, right? 8 weeks.
Yeah,
he was 8. So yeah, that does suck. But like, still lump him into there. Like, so he's spending $17 million on those 4 players, and only 3 of them performing at this point in time. But the 3 of them performing at that dollar amount still, you know. And the Troy is more injury based than production at this point. But yeah, you got to hand it to Ben Cherington so far. Those guys, there was reason to be optimistic about them, even though their performances weren't, you know, to standard or what you'd want to see last year. They're definitely performing at this point in time. Let's talk Castro. I can't stop talking about him. He did have 2 hits today. He had the RBI single in the first. Then he had the big 3-run shot. So he does end up, again, as mentioned today, two hits on the year. Rodolfo Castro in 55 plate appearances, 319, 418 on base, slugging .511, a 154 weighted runs created plus, 9.1% walk rate, striking out less than 22% of the time, 21.9% exactly.
he has been a revelation, man. Like, I was happy for him with like a post call up last year. I think he had like finished the year with 120 WRC plus. I was a little worried about him because his September wasn't very good last year. And he even started the year like spring training in the first week of the season. He looked miserable.
Yep.
And he has just come around and become such a huge force in the middle to back end of this lineup to where like you legitimately have to fear him every time he steps into the box. And it's hard to describe, like, because like I never would have guessed because again, I didn't think his approach was very good. But I mean, he has been a huge spark plug for this offense. Like whenever there has been offensive production, he's usually somewhere in the middle of it. And that's capped off with a disgusting 450-foot home run today.
All right. I'm glad you said that because I wanted to add that here too, right? Because
he had a home run today. Am I going crazy? He didn't have a home run today.
Yeah, he did. He had a 3-run shot.
He
Right.
Okay,
StatCast told us probably should have been his second home run because he had a fly out and StatCast said it went 459. I don't know what was happening there, but I saw that fly out and I also see the wall that says 415.
Yeah.
So that fly out did not go 459. I don't know what was going on. I mean, we did talk and say he had that one fly out a couple of days ago. It was 423.
Yeah.
Right. Like the power stroke is also coming. We were talking early on the approach. He's drawing walks. He's getting full counts. He's getting hits. He's hitting the ball hard. Now the power you're seeing come too as well.
Yeah.
Again, he had a home run today. Just missed a warning track hit today deep in center field again. And as mentioned 2 days ago, he hit 423 deep into the warning track. That was an out also. So you're seeing him put all these tools together right now, and I can't be more excited. And what's funny about that is, again, going to the whole Cruz situation, like since he's taken over for Cruz, he's performing better than I think you expected Cruz to be.
Yeah.
Now,
if Cruz is hitting 300 and like with a 900 OPS, like we would be crowning him like the new like king of Pittsburgh. So
right.
I really feel like Castro has not been appreciated enough, at least in the circles that I've seen. And
this right here. This is why I'm still hating Jim and Tyler for even mentioning keeping Newman this year.
No, like keeping Newman would have been. Like I know he's hitting okay with the Reds right now, but no,
he's not. No, he's not.
Really, I thought he was doing pretty
64
well.
64 weighted run created plus. 216,
right.
250, 411.
He was his miracle man the first week of the season. Never mind.
He had that one home run against the Pirates to open up the first hit.
No one, even if Moreta sucks, which I think he probably will be, just the plus of not having to watch Kevin Newman on a daily basis warms my heart.
There you go. I will take that. But this is one of those two, like, I hate to say this. I'm going to bring it up just because.
Yeah.
But, man, the way the Pirates performed this series, damn it, why does Cruz have to be injured? Like, could you imagine O'Neill Cruz this series right now, what we might be talking about?
Yeah. I mean, that
thought
has crossed my mind, but I'm only manifesting good vibes at the moment. Like, I'm trying not even think about the Cruz injury. So I'm taking, like, look at us without the Cruz injury. This is incredible. like we are crazy scoring 28 runs in 2 separate days without our best power bat.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Good vibes only. And yeah, to answer Doug, as he says, DiNardo, why do you have Newman stats right off the top of your head? Well, it's because I had a dunk on our friend Brian Cornell, who's an idiot because, all the Castro hate, and you guys are dumb for even liking Castro, and he should be DFA'd.
There's a DFA Castro.
Anyone who listens to Brian Cornell, honestly, like, what's your problem? He's an idiot, just a flat out dumb idiot. But I'll move forward.
I mean, the man's had me blocked for months, so I can't even see his takes. I think I responded to one thing, and he had me blocked since then. So,
yeah. Anyways, back to the game. Well. We don't need to talk about that dummy anymore. I don't know. So, anything else like stand out that you really want to talk about? Because everything was a standout in a normal game, but now 3 hits is just an average, Jason Delay at bat.
Yeah. I mean, shout out. I mean, if you want to be like on the more negative side, I would say that Cannon Smith and Jigba's days might be numbered.
It's been rough.
Yeah,
It's been
especially
rough.
I'll put it this way, because I have been hard on Jack Suwinski. I think if you go back through my post-game shows, I've been hard on Jack Suwinski, and one of his home runs was off a position player. But he faced all lefties today. Walked twice, gave us an RBI, a productive out.
Yep. You'll take that from him.
Take a bow for the series, Jack, man, because you are, I think, in the very limited platoon role that you can give him, he can be a really valuable asset. But anything outside of that fourth outfielder position, I think it's too much for him. So however Shelton's been using him this past week or so, please keep doing it. I'm so happy.
I'm with it. I'm willing to eat crow. Absolutely. I expected Suwinski. I want Suwinski to start out in AAA because the way Kanan Smith-Njigba and Swaggerty are both performing, they earned it. And I know I'm not falling for it, Doug. That's bait. So I'm not going to answer your question of who would replace CSN, Swaggerty. But so let's cap this off here. I want to just mention one more person. Because again, we're talking about standout stuff. Let's talk about, as Anthony says here, Matthias. Again, he goes two more hits today. Are you taking any stock? Has this series changed your mind on Matthias? What are you expecting going forward? Because I'm very cautiously pessimistic still, if that makes sense. I don't expect much from him. I think this is more of a good series of anything.
Yeah,
but he did do that. It happened.
The pessimist in me can't take anything of real value from 4 good games, because I'll say this: whatever Andy Haynes is feeding these guys is working, and Matthias has done a really good job just putting the ball in play, getting on base. But do I expect him to be anything more than a bench player? No. As much as I would like to say otherwise. So you know what? Mark Matthias can prove me wrong. I think he's going to be more valuable than Marcano, even though Marcano's out here being a literal acrobat for us. But no. Until I'm proven wrong.
Fair. That's how I am. I'm still on this side. This has my eyes open. Let's find out. Maybe this is another... we talked about the offseason acquisitions. Maybe there's another thing from Cherryton that says, hey, congratulations, you did it. But I'm still pessimistic on it. So I guess we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think Bly Madris has kind of permanently ruined this kind of player for me.
Okay. I might have had more. Well, I don't know.
I don't know if that's fair, but
I might have had more faith in Bly, maybe. But anyways, I digress. We'll move forward.
But listen, if he wants to keep hitting and he's a nice bench player, I will be very happy. I would agree that he's better than Bly Madris. I think Bly Madris was just completely out of his depth.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get on out of here. So the Pirates do play Cincinnati tomorrow. It's a 4-game series. Again, sweeping the Rockies. They're now 12-7. They go and play Cincinnati. Maybe they can still cook. Maybe they can go ahead and keep making that margin wider on the win-loss record. And I don't know. We'll find out. But definitely possibly a fun series to watch as well coming up. So
I'm excited.
So am I. So let's get out of here. For everyone that was watching, thanks. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.